Hello, everyone. My name is Christian Eschbach, and welcome to another one of my album reviews. Hey, everyone. It is Canadian content time, and since my last Alice Cooper review was Praise for You, and then I went into Easy Action, which was the second one I decided for Canadian content. My last Canadian album was Billy Talent's first album. Let's do number two. All right. Just in that mood. I forgot how much I liked number two until I went to go throw it on for the first time in what feels like a decade. Probably was honestly a decade. Really, really good album. I'm just gonna say that up front. Music. This album is definitely one of those albums where most of the songs on this album I just absolutely love while the album's playing. When the album's not playing, a lot of the songs on this album I have a habit of overlooking or forgetting about. And that's only because I myself have grown with Billy Talent as Billy Talent has grown. So there are certain album cuts, especially, that I don't think of the same way, or I may not address, or I might downplay on here a little bit. And I'm going to apologize ahead of time because the whole way around, I'm going to tell you right now up front, just go buy the fucking album. It's a good album. All right. Albums that was Devil in a Midnight Mass. Wicked way to open this album up, man. Like, I mean, that under riff with the... It just gets into it, man. Ooh, burner right from the get-go, man. Like, not high speed burn, but definitely burn in. Really, really good tune. Opens up the album perfectly. It's also a song that not only opens up the album perfectly, but actually has held up as a single all these years later, where, you know, you still want to kind of hear Devil in the Midnight Mass. Red Flag. Okay, Red Flag. This one's an interesting one. When this one came out, I didn't mind it, but I wasn't overly huge on it. It was kind of, all right, it's Billy Talent. And now I enjoy it a little bit more. I don't think of it as just, oh, okay, it's Billy Talent. Now I actually, oh, yeah, that's a good album cut. Then we get into The Suffering. The Suffering and the next track, Worker Bees, both of them. They're both fantastic tracks. The thing is when the album's not playing, I honestly don't think of the songs. When the album is playing, I am totally banging my head having a great time with these songs. Pins and Needles, a little more than I only think of it when the album's playing. It's not a song I'd put into a mix usually, but it is a very good song. Really enjoyable. Fallen Leaves. Oh man, me and my son were actually, we were both working on dinner. He was cooking his dinner, I was cooking my dinner. This one's just blasting away on the stereo. And both of us are just sitting there, not screaming it, but both. Fallen leaves, fallen leaves, fallen leaves on the ground. In a wicked little town, they were lost and never found. Fallen leaves, fallen leaves, fallen leaves on the ground. And this is and I've mentioned this before. Billy Talent's one of those ones. Both my kids were into Billy Talent. My son and my daughter were both into Billy Talent. But my son was the one that got a little more Billy Talent than my daughter did. My daughter a little more, I don't want to say the softer side of music, but we're going to say a little more acoustic-y. My son a little more heavy adrenaline. And Fallen Leaves, it's one, when it comes to Billy Talent, me and him still talk a lot about it. And Fallen Leaves, it's just funny to hear both of us singing it at the same time, quietly to ourselves, while we're both working on dinner. It was just a cute little moment. Where is the Line? Another really good tune. I really enjoy this one. Where is the Line is a little bit different in vibe. Where a lot of the album up until this point has kind of been a little more, I don't want to necessarily say angry or upset with the world, but when you get to Where is the Line kind of feels more like the moment that frustration breaks, The moment where you kind of like, okay, that's enough. Covered in Cowardice, good song while the album's playing. Surrender, I this one's kind of mellower. This is Billy Talent tends to do one or two songs on their albums that tend to be a little mellower, and Surrender is kind of the mellower, the standout kind of mellower song on this album. And I don't mind it, but it's not a song that I'm really into all that much. Some people, I guarantee there's going to be some people that absolutely love this song, man. It's going to be some people's. There's every band. One of the greatest things you can ever say to a band, I think, is that song saved my life. And I do believe that there are going to be people out there that are going to say Surrender saved their life. So I don't want to knock Surrender. It's just not one for me. Navy song I don't think of unless the album is playing. Perfect World, decent. Sympathy, decent. Burn the Evidence, great way to close out the album. I'm downplaying a lot of these songs in here because, like I said, I put this album on. I've listened to it quite a few times since I started listening to it again. Get ready for this review, and it's a wonderful album, absolutely fantastic. And they were still growing at this point. We're not even close to at their best yet. People always debate and argue over what Billy Talent's best album is. A lot of people will say the next album coming up is where they peaked. I don't agree with that, and this was on the way up there. So when I downplay this one a little bit, I'm downplaying it purely because we're just not there yet. I love Billy Talent. I loved growing with this band because of how young I was. I mean, this was, 2006. So this would have been just before my 30th birthday. Well, 2 years before my 30th. So I do consider I was still growing because I was still a parent, I was still a young parent. My daughter was 2006. She would have been a preteen. My son would have still been, a youngin', little guy. And, as they're still growing, I'm growing with them kind of thing, And you can't not love when you look back on this stuff and you can hear the band growing and when you think about this great band growing as your children are growing, as you're growing, it's just the whole way around, Maybe it's nostalgia, but I don't think so. I think it's just a damn good album. All right, folks. Let me know what you think. Leave your comments below. On your way down, there's the Patreon link. Feel free. Like button, subscribe button, bell for notifications. Peace, love, take care.